In this video, we're going to talk about understanding the basic zone coverages. The terminology we'll be using here, cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, different versions of cover 3 are pretty universal terminologies, but every place can call it something completely different. But we'll refer to them as the most common ones that I know of. Secondly, we're going to learn how to recognize these coverages in pre-snap alignments and even some post-snap movements. Always best to match it up with video. We'll show some video here from some college and some NFL games to match up these coverages. But before you ever dictate something is cover 2 or something is cover 4 or 3, make sure that you've seen it on video, and nothing replaces watching your opponents on video. That's probably the most important and underutilized thing in college football today for players. So understanding zone coverage, let's kick into that. We're going to start with cover 4. Cover 4 is pretty standard. We're going to have 4 guys lined up across the corners and the safeties, and they're each going to take a fourth of the field deep, and then we're going to have underneath coverages below. When you see AB here, that means it's going to either be an alley defender or a backer, which means if we're in 10 personnel, those will probably be alley defenders. If we're in 11 personnel, one of them will be an alley defender, one of them will be a backer. Obviously, if we're in empty, they're both alley. And 12, they might both be backers. And 21, they might both be backers. So that's when you see the AB. That's what that's referring to here in this section right here. Now, some of the things on the recognizing it is the thing we're going to look for first is always the safeties. Are the safeties, spread out evenly, not necessarily on the hash marks, but looking like they're pretty close to the hash marks, going to cover the middle quarter of the field, the middle quarter of the field, outside quarter of the field, and they should be at similar depths. The more tilted they are, the more of one of these safeties is pushed up or back, the less likely it's going to be cover 4. And then on the corners, they're going to be off most of the time, but they definitely can press up. And a lot of times, a lot of teams will press their corner to the short side of the field. So if the ball was on the right hash here, this corner could press up and play more of a tight, quarter with still having his fourth of the field, but he's going to play it tight, knowing that this safety is going to be a little closer to him and give him a little bit of help in that deep area. So let's take a look at it. Here's the responsibilities of the zones and give you a visual look at what we just talked about. The corners and the safeties each have a quarter of the field deep. The alley defenders usually have, the curl to flat, and the backers will have hook to curl kind of areas. And obviously, if they're rushing 3 instead of 4, there could be a third backer in here too. So, in third and long situations where they'll drop rush 3 and maybe drop 8, there'll be a third backer in here to kind of spread out in these underneath these zones. So that's kind of what the overall look of it is. Jumping ahead on you there, but let's take a look at it on video and see it in action. Take a look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. We're looking here. We're looking at cover 4, and what we're looking at here is right off the bat. The NFL, they're pretty good at disguising stuff. These guys aren't equal distance from the line of scrimmage, so they're kind of hiding it a little bit. So it's probably not the perfect example to show you, but you're going to see how they're rolling. But he's off, eyes and hips pointing towards the quarterback. He's off, eyes, hips pointing towards the quarterback. So they're not in man. They're probably going to drop. He's not in the middle of the field. He's kind of off. If you line him up, he's right off the end of this tackle here. He's lined up here with the tight end, so they're splitting the field pretty nice. So if you look at it, they're already kind of getting to the 1, 2, 3, 4 deep, and then you'll have the underneath zones coming in here. So if we let it play, you'll see how they're starting to move to it. And now, even though the corners are a little bit tighter, they're not pressed. They're off a little bit. It's really hard to play, the flats from here when you're trying to reroute your guy inside. So they're not going to do that, especially in the league. When you got guys like Devontae Adams out here running by you, he'll be here. But so now you'll see they drop, and boom, we get to here, and now we're deep here. He's pressing up because there's 2 guys. He knows he's going to go with him. He's going to jump on him. This guy could be dangerous if he was breaking it off here. He's in this quarter of the field. This guy's got this quarter of the field. We'll show it off right here. There they go. So he's going to drop. You can see him turning and running with him for the outside quarter. This safety's taking the inside quarter of the field. This safety's got this inside quarter, and this corner over here's got this quarter, and then you got the underneath zones coming in. So that's a pretty good look at cover 4 there, and pretty basics from the Buccaneers. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. This is Butler Community College running cover 4. Now here they're showing press. You got your safeties, pretty equal distance. They're not quite exactly the same distance from the line of scrimmage here, but they're deep enough that like you don't see him coming and trying to cover the flat from here. He might, but it doesn't look like he's ready to trigger. He's kind of flat-footed, ready to bail. He's good. He's probably pressed up like this because the team here, NEO, they throw a lot of bubbles, so he's probably like looking bubble pretty hard. But as you see, as I let the play run, this guy's pressing up. He's faking, obviously, so he's going to drop, and there they go. So he's bailing into the quarter, he's bailing into the quarter, he's bailing into the quarter. These three are underneath. A lot of times you're going to see, especially in quarters, this guy is going to wall him off and not let him cross his face. That's a popular technique. All right, let's talk cover 2. All right, cover 2 is going to look similar to cover 4. All right, our safeties are going to be equal distance from each other. They might be a little wider. They usually are a little wider in cover 2 than they are in cover 4 because now they're responsible for the deep half. So we're going to see balanced safeties. One won't be deeper than the other, not much, maybe a couple yards, but generally they're not going to be 5 yards up, safety up in here or safety back in here. And they're going to be spread, and usually there's not going to be a safety directly over the middle of the ball. They're going to kind of split the field 50-50. And then the corners are going to be tighter. They could be up pressed right in someone's face, or they could be, 5 yards off playing like a catch technique. But generally, they're going to be within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They'll disguise it sometimes. Good teams will start back and then press up late. But that's generally what we're looking for there. The responsibilities areas we talked about a little bit, but this is what it looks like. These safeties have deep half on each, and then the corners are going to have the flats. The A-B defender, either the alley defender or the backer, depending on what they are, they're going to have the curls, and the backer should have the hooks underneath. And these can change. A backer could come and a D lineman can drop, but for the most part, these are the zones. Cover 2, Tampa is a little different than cover 2 in that you're going to notice that there's going to be one of the backers, or usually they'll bring in a nickel or another safety, and they'll bring him in and they'll drop him into the middle. He has deep responsibility, but for the most part, he's going to shut down this middle area of the field right here. He's going to drop that, and then we'll have one underneath in the hooks. And then the corners are still pressed up. And this is 2 Tampa. This is a popular defense. It's kind of a good prevent defense. It's very good against pass teams, but it's very weak against runs. So you won't see a ton of it, but if a team gets a big lead and you need to throw to catch up or something, Tampa 2 is something that you'll see a little bit of, and it's definitely something to know what it is. So basically, it's just cover 2. You're going to split the 2 deep zones a little wider and then drop a backer or another safety up in between them. And he could stay a little shallow, or he could drop, back literally be 3 straight across. It's really like a prevent more than a regular defense, but there are a lot of teams that play it, and they're pretty good at it, and Iowa State being one of them. So now we're looking at cover 2. We've got UCLA right here, Washington State, and again, we're looking at cover 2, and what's going to give it away is, here we go, we got nice equal distance from the line of scrimmage safeties, splitting the field nice. We do have press corners, right? So it could be 2 or 4 right now. I'm immediately thinking either 2-man, or 4. That's immediately what I'm thinking when I see the 2 safeties like this. And then as I'm watching it, he is looking at the receiver, so you could be thinking 2-man, but now they go in motion, and we'll see as he goes, he's here, he is bumping him, right? And now, and he's not man, so he's kind of bailing, but he's going to sit in the flat. He turns him loose, which tells me it's 2, not 2-man, and then he drops to his flat out here. And now if you look at this, is almost a perfect picture right here. 2 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across underneath, and leaving 4 rushing, and that is a perfect cover 2 look right there. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Here we go, got the Packers and the Buccaneers. This one is the Buccaneers. All right, we've got, right now, they're kind of disguising it. He's kind of tight, but not really. He's still pretty much equal distance from the line of scrimmage, but even more so what's giving it to me is that they're split. See, if they were this depth, but he was here, I would be thinking 3 or 1, cover 1 man, something like that. But right now you can see he's kind of bailing. Now we're looking very much like cover 2. He's got his eyes here. His eyes are on the quarterback. His eyes, it actually does look like his head's kind of looking at the quarterback. They're tough to tell from this angle of film, but as we let it play, you can see he's forcing him inside to the safeties. The safeties obviously open his hips because he's responsible for this half, and that's his biggest threat. He's bailing out, widening out a little bit right here, all right? And then these guys are playing underneath zones. He turns him loose right here, right? Turns him loose to the safety. He stays underneath. They're both kind of rallying to the swing pass here, but there you get a perfect look at it. Let's run that back right there. You get a perfect look at it. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath, 2 deep, right? Really good look. Cover 2. Cover 6. Cover 6 is really just a mix between cover 4 and cover 2. One side will play cover 2, another side will play cover 4, but generally the cover 2 side will be the short side of the field, given that safety half of the field on the short side to take care of, and then these safety and the other corner dropping into quarters. We're going to still see balanced safeties. We're going to see one of the corners pressed and one of the other corners off. Now that can mix. They can press and press bail, and we'll try to find some of that on video for you to see. But typically, if you got a cover 6 team, you're going to see a lot of it on video. You should know going into the game that it's a cover 6 team, and they like to do that to the boundary. I have seen some teams do it to the field, but for the most part to the boundary. Take a look at the areas of responsibility. So here we've got 2 deep quarters on this side. So this is the 4 side. And then on the 2 side, we have deep half with underneath. Typically, here I put, a D end in here. So we consider him part of the rush. So we have 7 in coverage. We have 4 rushing. And then, one of the alley defenders and backers would drop into coverage. So if we were in, 3 by 1, there'd be 1, 2, 3 receivers here, 1 over here. They could play cover 2 to the 1 receiver side and then cover 4 to the 3 receiver side, and basically go 3 receivers against 4 areas of zone here and 3 areas of zone here versus pretty much the 1 receiver, unless we get a back out into the deal here. But this is what it typically looks like. And let's take a look at it on film and kind of see cover 6 in action. Cover 6 is really cover 4 on one side, cover 2 on the other side. We've got the safeties, equal distance from the line of scrimmage, nice and deep. This is an air raid team. That favorite play on air raid is 4 verticals, so they're going to stay nice and deep, right? We got a corner pressed up here and a corner off over here. He's off. So right away I'm thinking it's either 4 or 2. So it's really tough to tell until you get into the play whether he's going to stay in this flat zone or if he's going to turn and press bail. But look at the width of this guy. He's outside the hash marks, even though the ball's on that hash mark. See, if this was cover 4, my opinion, he would be lined up right here so that he could take his 4th of the field. Makes me think he's kind of splitting from here to here. That's telling me cover 2 here, and then these guys are going to play 4. So as we let it roll here, there we go. You take a look. He's going to bail out. He's going to bail to the middle, right? Kind of into his quarter zone. He's going to bail into his quarter. He's going to sit, and this side's the 2, that side's the 4. So let's let it roll, right? He's widening. He's getting back into his quarter zone. He's staying depth. He's kind of squatting. He's not really bailing. He's sitting. He's sitting right there, right? So now now they're going to rally because the ball was just thrown. So they've come out of their back pedal and they're rallying to the ball. But if you look at it right here, you got 1, 2 quarters there, deep half here, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath here. And they're throwing to the perfect spot, to the spot they don't have a guy. So that's a good job. But that's a good look at cover 6 from UCLA. All right, here's Butler Community College in cover 6. All right, first thing we're going to look at the safeties. Pretty much equal distance from the line of scrimmage. Nice, okay? Nice widths, okay? He's outside the hash. He's not wide enough that makes me think it's 2 over here yet. But on the snap, his eyes are to the ball, so I know it's going to be zone. So as we get it, he's pressed up. All right, look back, so they're going to get the call here. All right, he's pressed up. He's off the ball a little bit more, so I'm thinking he's going to bail. There we go. This is what we're looking at. He's going to squat. He's going to roll to the deep half. He's going to roll into his quarter area. He's going to drop into his quarter area, and then we have underneath guys here. So let's let it roll. He's going to sit, right? He's going to funnel him inside. Good job. And now he's sitting. Here comes the out right here. He's going to sit on it. He's going to jump off that and go to there, right? So, but now he sees the ball in the air. So now he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the ball. All right, we got deep quarter there, deep quarter there. We got 3 underneath here. All right, ball probably should have went right there. Cover 3. You're going to look for a safety. One safety is going to be in the middle of the field. Another safety is going to be taking, pressing up. And based on the different types of cover 3s, which we'll get into here in a minute, this safety could be up in here. He could be up in here. He could be different ones. But what we're looking for here is a tilt, right? One safety is pressed up more than the other safety, and that's going to give away cover 3, and then the safety in the middle of the field. So let's take a look at the areas of responsibility. You got your 2 corners are deep thirds, your safeties deep third in the middle, and then you got your flats with your safeties and your backers and hooks to curls, and then your alley defender backer out here in a flat. Now the 3 different looks for cover 3, I like to call them 3 sky. So on the 3 sky, the S for safety, the safety has the flat. So the safety will come from in here and he'll cover the flat. So if we're running, an out route or a sail route with a 10-yard out and a vert on the outside, this corner is going to take the vert. This safety is going to sit on the out, whether it's a short out or deeper out. He's going to be in that flat area there. And then on the backside, same thing. So that's what cover 3 sky. The safety is in the flat. The S for safety covering the flat. The next look is 3 buzz. So who's got the flat? The backer. So we're going to call that buzz. So what we do here is a safety might line up here, could line up in the middle. He could come from depth and roll into the middle. But wherever he's coming to, he's going to come into this hook curl area, and the backer is going to take the flat, either the backer or the DN. Could be either one of them, but basically you can call this guy an outside linebacker, defensive end, same type of thing. So when one of these backers is going to drop to the flat, the safety is going to fill into the hook to curl. We're going to call that buzz. B for backer has the flat. S for safety has the flat. The third one is cloud. The corner is going to cover the flat. So a corner will press up. Usually he'll start off lined up tight and stay there. Play it like cover 2, kind of funnel you inside, but have a press on you here. He's going to take the flat area, and then that safety is going to roll to that deep third. So he'll have corner, safety, safety with another corner underneath. This is really good on the short side of the field. I have seen people run it to the wide side of the field, but for the most part, it's to the short side of the field. But again, when we're recognizing cover 3, the main thing we're looking for is this safety tilt. One safety towards the middle of the field, the other safety pressed up a little bit. It could be over here, it could be over here, depending, which side, the wide side of the field. But they're not going to be even distance from the line of scrimmage. One will be closer to the line of scrimmage than the other, and I like to draw a line through them. And if that line will run water down it, if you poured water on that line and it were to drain off one side, that's called a tilt, and that's what we're looking for to show us that we got cover 3 or cover 1, depending if he's really. But here we're talking zone, so it would be cover 3. And one of the things that we're looking for is that if we want to know if it's cloud, where that corner is going to press, we're looking for that safety to be cheating back so he can get into that deep third. He's going to be hard to come from real tight here and get all the way bailed to the deep third, especially with an outside receiver. So that safety is going to be up from where his normal position is, but he's going to be cheating out and even back a little bit so that he can roll back. And the bottom line is cloud and cover 4 really are similar. There's 3 across. The only difference is this safety here is a third, this safety's got a third, and this corner's got a third. And if we roll back and we look at, cover 6 is what I'm talking about here, it's almost identical. Corners in the flat. This safety, but instead of having a third, he's got a half. And this safety's got a quarter, and this corner's got a quarter of the field. Now, they're really close looking. If you look at the 2, that's the only difference is the amount of area these 2 guys have is a quarter of the field versus a third of the field, and he has a third of the field versus half of the field. So they're very similar. All right, the last cover 3 we're going to look at is more of a very high. If you're on a team that throws the ball a lot, or they're in a prevent, I call it 38. It's cover 3. They're going to drop 8. So they're going to have a 3-man rush. They're going to drop that third guy in for the middle, and then this would be 3 sky, 38 sky, with the safety taking the flat, 3 backers underneath, and then the alley backer out here on this flat, 3 deep. But 3 is the 3 there, the 8 for drop 8 in coverage. You could do 48 too, where it's cover 4 and they drop 8. That would be 48. Let's look at cover 3 on film now. So here we go. We got UCLA. And we're going to look at cover 3 now. All right, this is cover 3, UCLA versus Washington State again. Right off the bat, here's what I'm looking at. I got more of a tilt. I have more of a tilt. He's up a little bit. He's back a little bit. He's kind of splitting the difference between the two receivers. If this was cover 2 or 4, I would expect him to be in here. And I would expect him to be right where he's at. But because he's already cheated in. Now, on the post snap, he could fly out and make that into cover 2 or 4, but he's not. So, because I've already watched it, but that's how you watch film prior to the game, and you start to see where's he lining up on 3, where's he lining up on 4. Right, he's pressed up, so how's he going to take deep third from there? Right, it makes it interesting. And same thing here, he's got deep third, and then he's going to have to take the flats. And then where's this guy going to go? Is he going to go to the flat, or is he going to go inside for buzz? Right, so it's 3 buzzes. So the backer's going to go to the flat, which is what makes it buzz. Safety's going to fill inside. So here we go. Backer comes to the flat, safety comes inside. There we go, 3 deep, 4 zones underneath. Good look at 3 buzz. That's what it looks like right there. All right, take a look at the next one. This one is Butler. Oh, I'm sorry, this one's UCLA again. All right, UCLA, nice. Got a guy deep middle. We got a guy off. These guys are probably going to play underneath. We're going to call this the second safety, unless I was really looking at the numbers, but I'm going to say this is the second safety, so he's on the outside. So he's going to take the flat, and that's going to make this 3 sky. And right off the bat, I can see that. I got 1, 2, 3 deep. There's no way he's going to go deep. Even if he runs right by him, he is not going to run with him. He's going to turn him loose to him, and he's going to stay underneath and look to this guy or this guy coming underneath. So here we go on the snap of the ball. You're going to see right here, he's already bailing. He's already pressing up. There it is. Good look at 3 sky. Safety on the flat. There we go. Snap of the ball. Freeze it. 5 zones underneath. 3 zones deep. Safety to the flat makes it 3 sky right here. Right? 3 sky because it's safety to the flat. Good look at it. 3 sky. All right. Here we go. We got the Bucks and the Packers again here. And we're looking at 3 sky, and this time I wanted to see you. This is definitely possible, and it happens a lot more now than when I played, for sure. Definitely, it's kind of popular. This is 3 sky with a field storm. So this guy right here is coming. That's the field storm. Okay, to the field side. This is the field side right here. So the ball's on this hash mark. I've got narrower hash marks in the NFL. So this is the field side, and the safety's coming, or it's a nickel or whatever, but a defensive back is coming, right? An alley defender, and that's going to make it the field storm. And then they're going to drop into 3 zones. So right here, you can see these guys tilted. He's a little higher. He's kind of splitting the difference between these 2. If this was cover 2 or 4, I would expect him to be more in here, where they're kind of even. But right here, here's where our pictures are. What happens after post snap is this guy, again, the NFL does a great job disguising it. This is the sky. He's going to fly to the flat to field to cover for the storm, right? In college, you'll see when they're doing this, you'll see this safety, and probably in high school too, you'll see this safety cheat into here, and that's going to give away that this guy's coming. But the Buccaneers, being the Super Bowl champions, and this is the NFC Championship game, they're really good at disguising this for one of the best minds in the game right here, right? So they're disguising it. So he's playing real deep, not giving it away that he's going to fly to the flats that's underneath when he comes. So right now, he probably doesn't know he's coming. But if this guy cheated to here, I can almost guarantee you if he was uptight that Aaron Rodgers would know he was coming, right? And he would probably find a way to beat him with this guy on a post or slant behind him right here. But nonetheless, he's back, and he's triggering from back here. And he's going to fly to the flats. He's going to come. He's going to bail deep. He's going to wheel to the deep middle, right? These guys are going to drop to their flats. He's coming again. He's going to go deep third. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 in deep third. Him and Sky to the flat. These 2 guys in the hook to curl. Here we go. Boom. So he's going to bail. He's bailing. He's rolling to the middle. He's triggering up. He's bailing. And these 2 guys are sitting underneath. There we go. All right, good job by the Buccaneers disguising 3 sky with the field storm coming. All right. Here we go. We got another 3 sky by the Buccaneers. All right. First thing I'm going to notice, they're tilted, right? He's deeper than him quite a bit. That's tilted. Do you see the line like this? That makes it where they're not, you know, if this was 2 or 4, I would expect him back there. Also, he's splitting the difference. He's on the hash mark, but, you know, thinking college hash marks are out here, you know, he's not really. He's kind of almost right down the middle of the field. So that's another good tip that's cover 3 and not cover 2 or 4. So here we go. So we got this, the corners are pressed, disguising it well. You can see right there. There comes the safety tilt. He's pressing up, right? He's going to turn and bail. He's pressing up to get to his flat. He's turning and running to cover his third. He's dropping to his third. He's going to bail to his third. And there's our 3 underneath right there. Could be 4, but they brought another guy. Let's run that back to the picture there. So you got 3 underneath, 3 deep. Now these 3 are kind of off to the side of the field this way because Aaron Rodgers is going that way. If he had rolled this way, these 3 would have pressed up this way. That safety would have probably been in here. This linebacker would have been here, and this linebacker would have rolled to here. But there's a good look at 3 deep. And obviously they're bringing 5 here because there's only 6 in cover. So some sort of stunt going. If we roll it back, we could probably see the stunt. And there it is right here. So this would be, we call it all different types, but it's basically a mic to the A gap or mic to the B gap here. So mic to the B gap blitz, right? And that's what, so this is another 3 sky with a blitz, mic to the B gap blitz. It's a zone blitz is what it's known as, and it's more and more you're starting to see that, and the Buccaneers did a good job of that against Tampa Bay. They didn't do much of that against Kansas City in the Super Bowl, but they did do a lot of it against Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. So there's that one. Let's take a look. Here's Butler Community College, right? We got a tilt. See our tilt here? We've got a guy off there. We got a guy press, but he's not in our face. He's bailing. We know he's going to get out of there. So right away, I can tell you this is going to be here, going to here. He's going to roll up for sky. He's going to bail to here. These 3 guys are going to sit in their 4 zones right there, and that's what we're going to look like. And when there's our tilt, right? And then we're going to get, he's pressing, they're bailing, and right there, you can see we got 4 underneath, 1, 2, and the third one's off the screen over here. 3, they're all 2 of them are off the screen actually, but you can see him leaving the screen right there. Here he's going to be 1, 2, 3 deep, and then the rest of these guys are going to come underneath, right? Nice cover 3, and the way you beat this linebacker on the hitch out here, right? Turn upfield, be a dude, get some yards. There we go. All right. Take a look at one more Green Bay versus Tampa Bay. There's Tampa Bay on defense here actually. All right. Here we go. Got 1 high. Right, 1 high, not even another safety in the picture, right? This guy's pressed up. This guy's on the outside looking in. Again, I'm looking at his head. I do think his head is looking here, but I can't really tell in this picture. So this guy is going to fly, which is a safety that's pressed up. He's going to fly to the flat. That's sky, right? They're not disguising it at all here. He's going to bail to the curl to flat over here, curl to hook, hook to curl here, and then we've got deep, deep, deep. So we're going to let that run. And I want you to see this. This guy right here makes a mistake. He's going. He's got the flat. He needs to run to the flat. This guy's got curl to hook. But he loses his head and turns, puts his back to it. This guy breaks off a flat right here. It's money. But not the play. But he's turning and running. I'm betting you that this guy's watched so much film, he knew this play. Like he knew what was coming. And that's why he could say, okay, he's not going to the flat. I can turn knowing he's going to follow him down the field. And that's going to be the route. And he's going to cross. He's going to come across into the 1, 2, 3 across here with a guy over here in the flat and a guy over here on a swing pass. But my guess is he's making this play. It's not a mistake necessarily. Is it something that he's recognized off of film and he's turning to play it? But in the real 3 sky and this actual coverage call, he should be coming over here and covering the flat. He should have the deep third. He should be underneath, deep third, deep third. That's how that should look in the real grand scheme of things. All right, this next one is a 3 buzz, right? This is an example of 3 buzz, right? These guys are balanced. They're selling. This is Green Bay. They're doing a good job showing it balanced. But on the snap, right, he's turning and bailing, right? He's kind of right over the middle of the field, like right over the middle of the center. The ball's on this hash mark, and he's only 2 yards off of that, so he is kind of middle of the field there, right? And this guy is pressing up underneath, right? He's bailing deep. He's bailing deep. So if you got a guy here, he's taking the deep third here, and basically you have 1, 2, 3 underneath, a little crowded over there because it's 3 by 1, but those are your underneath zones. And now he's rallying, he's seeing the throw, and he's going to rally to the throw. But there's your 3 deep, but the safety's flying to the inside, making the outside backer here take the flat, which means the B guy's got the flat, which makes it 3 buzz, and the safety's coming underneath it. And here, he's probably more of a rat player where he could have triggered here if he thought, he could have triggered into here. He's kind of, giving this guy as an athlete, let him be an athlete, let him trigger in underneath to the zone that he thinks it's coming, and then these 3 linebackers, 1, 2, 3, have the 3 underneath zones. So that's 3 again from the Green Bay Packers. So all right, this one's a little tricky. All right, it's 3 cloud. I want you to see that, but I want you to see how close 3 cloud and 6 look. So they're going to look very, very similar. This guy's pressed. He could press bail, but he doesn't have his inside foot back, so it doesn't look like he's going to open his hips to the quarterback to me. Looks like he's going to press some and at least try to make contact here. Now, he could, right before the snap, open that inside hip. That's a key, by the way. I should tell you that. And as you watch film, it's things you want to notice. Like these feet, right? If he's going to press bail, that inside foot would be here, making it nice and easy for him to flip his hips and bail. They're very rarely going to bail with their hips, with their belly button facing the sidelines. They're almost always, I've never seen a DB not in man, in zone, bail with his belly button to the sidelines. He's always belly button to the quarterback, so you get my eyes here. And with his inside foot forward pressed more than his outside foot, I don't think he's bailing. Like right now, that should be something that you were watching for on film. And so we watch here, he's going to sit. And now this is where it looks like it could be 3 cloud or it could be 6. And the difference is if it's 6, he's got a deep quarter, he's got a deep quarter, and he would have deep half, right? And then in 3 cloud, he has deep third, he has deep third, he has deep third. Truthfully, it doesn't really matter that much, but there are certain plays where it's better against 3 than it is against, cover 6. But bottom line is it could be really either one. But see how he got wider? He got really wide right there before at the snap. When I had to make a decision whether this was 3 cloud or 6, I thought this, because he widened right here, I think he's got deep third. And he's getting to the middle a little bit, so he's got deep third. He's kind of open. They're tight formation, so he doesn't have to really worry about the sidelines. But I think he's got deep third here. So I do think it's 3. He's sitting down. He's going to turn him loose to that backer. These backers are all underneath zones right here. What would be really nice, and I don't know what the play is right now. I watched the defense, but if this guy breaks it off right here, that's money because this guy is way too deep. But if you roll it back, so you go right here, that's the play. But there's our drawing there, and here's our zones. We got 4 underneath, we got 3 deep, real deep, and that's pretty good look at what 3 cloud is. If it was 6, this would be a narrower, this would be a little narrower, and this would be a little wider. That's about the only difference. But I wanted you to see 3 cloud versus 6 and how close they really are. So that's, those are all the cover 3s. Again, study the film of your opponent, understand what they're doing, what each player's responsibility is, and that's going to help you beat it in the long run. Good luck understanding zone coverages.